Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Casey.
How are you?
You know, I had a low earlier this week, but I'm moving up. Because I upped my drugs.
You upped your meds. I'm so happy.
I did again because I had gone down and then I upped them.
Now, may I ask, are you still the arbiter of your own medications? In the past, I've known you to just up yourself without consulting a doctor.
Yeah, I did.
And are you going to talk to her?
When I talk to her next time, I inform her.
When you talk to her. She'll know when she knows.
She needs to know when she needs to know.
Yeah, she's on a need-to-know basis. If you go down, you will call her.
Then she will know.
Oh my God. You know what? It's none of her goddamn business.
Just because she prescribed them and pays close attention to where I'm at in my life mentally doesn't mean she needs to know where I'm at mentally.
You know what, sweetie? Not for you to know. And not everything is everyone's business.
My drug's my business.
That's right, Danielle. You just keep going up and up.
I went up.
We can't go up anymore, and then I don't know what we do. That's the problem.
No, I am the arbiter of my own body and my own drugs.
Do we have a ceiling? Are we going to break that glass ceiling, or do we have anywhere up to go?
You know, when Hillary Clinton talked about breaking that glass ceiling, I knew what she meant, and that was get up. That Lexapro.
You are leaning into your antidepressant meds.
Yeah, so I've gone on up, and so I'm feeling good.
I love this about you so much because it's sort of out of character for you because you're so like a conscientious person and
I take it back. Like I'm a rule follower by nature.
And then to hear that you're just pumping yourself full of more anti-Ds is just so fun.
You know, to go rogue.
You're like, you won't even have more than half a glass of wine in the time I've known you.
And then some days I might take 3 Lexis, and that's fine.
Wow. I'm going to give her a call. Just
you
send
did
her this
introduce
audio.
me.
Send her this audio.
Introduce me to
Look, we do know each other.
Yeah, so that's great. Where are you? And
are you feeling its effects?
I think you can see them.
I'll tell you, you do seem to have a lot of energy right now.
I'm chipper. Because this week, at Monday of this week, I was just like, I had just kind of like, it's everything. It's the world around us. What, having to say to my daughter, I don't know what we're going to do. And I don't know about school and I don't know about summer camp. And, it's all
jobs
that I feel as a mother, you feel just like when things are out of control, you don't want them to be out of control for your child and people suffering and, it's been tough. And then, all of it. And so for some reason, Monday, the weight of the world just kind of crashed on me. And so then the weight of the pill bottle got heavier in my tummy. So
strange. I know. Oh,
how are you? I'm good.
I'm also up right now because I've done something in this time that is not something everybody does. And that is go back to a full Coke. I'm drinking the real thing.
It doesn't you don't see a grown person drinking.
It's like you don't see people smoking as much anymore.
No, you don't.
I don't think I've ever seen a friend pull out the real thing. And in movie theaters, I always get a full cherry Coke or a full Dr. Pepper because I love them so much. But that's like a little treat, once in a while.
Yeah, it's like you're on a vacation.
I'm pulling out real Cokes like it's the fucking LaCroix out of the fridge. And
wow.
It feels great.
They're
I'm
delicious.
Struggling with eating during this time so majorly. Always been a major issue for me. And I just can't stop eating. I can't stop drinking my full Cokes. Every day I wake up with resolve. It only ends in ruin. I can't even tell you what I'm up to over here. But you know what? Good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Sounds like we're both doing great. Naturally
doing great. And I did find out some news, Danielle, that was upsetting this week.
Okay. Oh God.
No, it's really upsetting. And I want to make this like a public service announcement in case anybody else thought this too.
Okay.
I don't even know how to say this because it's so crazy. Okay. So obviously, I think most people have been on 1 million Zoom calls, be it for
business and
everything,
pleasure.
Business and pleasure. Okay. I've taught writing classes at the Jane Club virtually. Like I've been in a lot of Zooms. I want to say hundreds.
I'm zooming.
I'm zooming my brains out.
Yeah.
Now, I found out yesterday via a phone call from a friend who wanted to just simply check in and ask me, did I realize or did I mean to still be on camera when during a parents' preschool meeting, my husband and I were lying down on our couch, basically not on top of each other in a sexual way, just like, you know, when you just like are passed out on a couch, we were so done with the day. Both of our feet, dirty feet in frame, drinking wine, making fun of the parents on the Zoom. David, now no one could hear us, but he was like, we were scrolling, pointing at people. He's like, that woman looks like Slender Man. Like, there was one mom in like the pitch dark just by herself, just like all the parents look so destroyed.
As we are.
And we're just like, we're listening to this call. We don't need to be seen during it. And she's like, you know, it did feel a bit casual. Like, I just want you to know, like, she just knew this was the behavior of two people who did not think they were on camera. And I go, well, we weren't. I said, I'm sorry, we weren't, because I had done hide self view. And she goes, Casey, that means you're hiding yourself from yourself, not from us. And I did not realize that. And I have turned off that camera hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times and done me.
Casey, I didn't realize that either. But what have you done? I don't know what I've done.
I don't know what I've done. And I have gone back. I have asked a couple people, like, you just don't know. But what you do know is that you don't think you're on camera.
Casey,
you need to press stop video.
This is so upsetting because I don't know what I've done.
So
Casey, I don't know problem? Casey, I don't know what I don't know what I've done.
So you don't know if you've stopped video or
I know
stopped hide.
I know I've pressed hide myself, thinking I was hiding myself.
Who the fuck needs to hide themselves from themselves? Like, Zoom needs to come up with some other way of saying this. Like, people will still see you, but you won't see yourself is the phrase I would like. That's just off the top wording that I'd like them to consider. People will still see you.
I've done school Zooms.
Yeah.
I've done meetings.
Yeah.
I've done.
I'll tell you what I did once, and this is really bad, Danielle. Oh, I don't even think I can say this. Let's just say I did a meeting on a very sensitive topic. I'm not going to even say if it was work or pleasure. It was not pleasure, let's just say. But it was sensitive. I'm talking people crying, people opening up. Things were happening.
Okay.
What was also happening was that I was in gloves with my Lysol out front, opening my Amazon boxes and wiping everything down.
No.
People must have been like,
this is what you're doing while I'm crying? You're wiping down an Amazon box?
Who the fuck is this asshole, like, wiping down packages? And, like, the only thing I'll say in my defense is just, like, as you know, and believe me, I could not be more blessed that I have the privilege to stay home. So I'm not saying this, but, like, there's a lot going on with kids. And
I'm multitasking, but I need to, like, but Casey, I know that I
need to open packages while people are crying. And
but I've been
just like, didn't want that person to see that.
As they shouldn't.
As they should.
And I know that I've definitely been ill-dressed. Like,
and I'm sure there's been some other behaviors that I've engaged in. So that's a public service announcement. Hide self-view only from yourself. Stop video is what we need.
What was I mean, have I, like, picked my nose? Like,
Danielle, everything has happened is my point. You're probably sorting out your Alexa Pro right in front of everyone. Like, that's what's happening.
1, 2, 3.
Danielle, I've gone pee. Like, I've brought this. I can't even tell you what's happened. And
I think I've, like, been kissing my dog.
Danielle, these are all fine things that you're saying. Like, I'm worried. And I just want to say, if any friends are listening, like, I'm sorry, you know? I can't go back to every person, you know? All I can do is just say that I'm sorry.
I'm trying to just, like, right now, I'm just piecing it together.
But for a friend to call and say, like, hey, I know you well enough to know that I don't think you wanted your dirty ass feet close up in the frame.
What did David say when you told him? He was,
like, horrified. He's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, we were sitting there for 2 hours. Again, like, some sensitive things being talked about with our school and, like, what's going on with the kids.
And you're sitting there laying on top of each other.
Drinking wine, eating fried chicken, like
what?
Squirrel. Yes.
Fried chicken.
Well, you know, we only eat lying down.
In bed, I know.
And this was actually on the couch, which people are lucky they got the couch and not the bed.
And not you betwixt the sheets.
And
with fried
Danielle,
chicken.
Even though we moved to our new house, we're up to our old ways now, given the pandemic, and there is, you know, like, okay, we used to have salt and pepper shakers next to the bed and ketchup and stuff. You recall. And then that gave way, like, in the beginning of us in our new home. But, you know, do you ever have this next to your stove, like a little bowl of salt that you kind of take a pinch? It's like
yes,
more
of
like
course,
I'm a
for
chef.
Cooking. Yeah.
It's up there in the bin.
No, Casey.
Yes, Danielle. Yes.
Casey.
Guy, I'm fucking overwhelmed, Danielle. I'm overwhelmed.
That gives no excuse to put an open salt bowl and put a pinch of salt on a fried chicken in your bed.
Look, it needs to be salted. And I just think, oh God, Danielle, it's bad. And we're not even putting down the towels anymore.
Really, really gotten, it's become really sad. Not even putting down the towels, is a cry for help. Wow.
Well, Danielle, before we get to our guests, you want to announce some very exciting news about myself and Miss June Diane Rayfield.
Yes, I'm really excited because we're going to do, through the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, a Q&A, or I'm going to do a Q&A with Miss Casey Wilson and June Diane about their life and their career and kind of how they got where they got and what they do in
and what we didn't get, what we didn't get.
And how they did what they did and their work ethic and everything that they sort of learned to get the success that they have as amazing writers and actors and podcasters. So I'm going to do that on June 2nd. I'll put something on my Insta to show how you get there, but you can also get their UCB classes and everything, but it's going to be June 2nd. It's Casey and June. I'm going to do a Q&A with them. So I'm really excited.
And what time? Is it at 7:30?
I think it's around 7:30, but I'll put all the information up on my Insta and everything
I'll post
like that.
it as well. We're looking forward to that. In conversation
it's 7:30. In conversation with Casey and June. That's June 2nd at 7:30. I'm really excited.
I love that. And briefly before we go, we just wanted to announce, and we're so sorry to have to do this, that due to COVID-19, we're rescheduling all of our Bitch Sesh 2020 summer tour, which is such a bummer.
We're so upset. And
thank you for buying tickets. We were so looking forward to it, but all refunds are available, fully available.
At the point of purchase. So just go where you got the tickets and you'll get a full refund. We hate this so much, but we want to keep you guys safe this summer and us safe this summer.
And we are looking forward to rescheduling.
Yes, we will be in your cities as soon as this nightmare
and thank you
over.
thank you for buying tickets in the first place. Let's take a little break and then we got quite a guest, Danielle.
We sure do.
Oh, Danielle, we have quite a guest.
I love this man. He has been in our lives from my life personally, since marrying me, but he's actually been in our lives before that.
Much earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this man is about, I want to say, how did you say it? Quintuplet threat?
Yeah.
He is an actor, a writer, an Emmy award winner. First of all, he produces many shows. He's written on, truly one of the greatest shows, I believe, of all time in the country.
The greatest show. The
greatest. He played my father, even though he is 1 year older than me. Please welcome the man who is Benjamin buttoning his way back to birth, Dan Bucatinsky.
Hey.
Wow.
Hi. Wow. I love, that was the greatest thing anyone's ever said about me.
It's the truth, though.
I wish I know. They had to gray us quite a bit to be your dads, but that was
they really did.
The most fun I think I've had yet.
And you and Tim Meadows made such a good couple too.
I got to tell you, we were so different and we became such good friends as your dads that it was like chemistry, perfect chemistry. But you guys are hilarious and a delight, and I love everything that you do.
God bless you.
So this is such a pleasure.
You're the best. When I was growing up, I always wanted to have two gay dads. Like, even from a young age, I was like, this is where I'm meant to be raised. And then I did Actors Theater of Louisville, and these two, Les and Larry, these two guys kind of like helped out all the like kids apprentices, and they basically became my de facto fathers. And it was the greatest summer of my life. And so then when David, my husband, was writing Marry Me, he's like, let's put Les and Larry in the show. Yeah. And there you were.
There you were.
Well, if you want to ask my 15-year-old daughter if she likes having Dan and Donna as her two gay dads, she'll probably have a different story.
Okay. Well, I'll send Les and Larry over after a COVID test.
Honestly,
please.
I'd like to invite you guys to be my dads at this moment. Like, I'm fine if you'd like to come over and father me, because I need it.
It would be such a pleasure and such a gift, given the parenting I've been doing for 3 years.
Even though technically, because you have not aged, and I have since we've last worked together. You are technically younger than me now, I believe, because you look amazing.
I've just had more work done, honey.
Oh, God bless.
That's what it is. You know, I have to keep up with the housewives.
And look, write me privately when you think it's acceptable to get work done during this time. Okay, Dan, I want to ask you, okay, I don't want to talk about, but you did just mention your husband. If I can just say, are we allowed to speak of him?
Yes, of course.
I'm a huge fan of his.
Oh,
as well.
huge fan.
Oh, thank you.
John Roos is one of the greatest writers of all time.
The Opposite of Sex is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, that's so sweet. He will love that you said that.
I love that movie.
I have to say, I saw it again recently, and it came out in 97 or 98, and it still holds up. It's such a unique, amazingly written, if I may say that about my own husband's movie, but it's so original and so biting and so dead on. And I thank you on his behalf.
I feel like people are always saying everyone's a genius, and it's like, not really, but he really is.
I mean, when you spoke of us, I believe you used those words earlier, and for sure.
No one on this Zoom is a genius, but no. Okay, but Dan, enough about him. Okay, enough about that.
Yes.
Will you tell us? So we just have some questions before we jump into Housewives. Okay. Tell us about the comeback. We just have to ask, because I know every fan and every listener is going to need to know.
Yeah, because every listener to this list, the comeback is one of their favorite shows because it is perfection.
Yes.
Well, thank you. And look, there are some concentric circles with Valerie Cherish and Housewives in general and the sensibility. So I'm not surprised about that. But what do you want to know about, like an origin, or do you want to know?
Yes. Just origin. How did you get involved? Your experience?
How can we get involved?
Well, about 17 years ago, Lisa Kudrow and I became producing partners. And right after Friends was over, it was right around the time, I'll try to go as fast as I can. It was right around the time where there was a very original, I'm putting quotes with my fingers, kind of reality show. Because at the time, the only reality shows were like MTV's Real World, Real World, and Big Brother. There was on E, there was a reality show that followed. Oh my God, I can't believe
Simple
I'm dropping her name. The blonde, no, Nicole.
Oh no, yeah, it was called like Anna Nicole, or like the Crazy Wildlife or something. Yes, I remember that. I watched it.
It was Anna Nicole and her weird manager boyfriend guy.
Yes.
And the cameras just followed her around in her life. And Lisa had come from the Groundlings years and years and years ago in Los Angeles, which for those of you who don't know is a sketch comedy group, very famous. A lot of great people came out of it. And back when she was on the Groundlings, she had this character named Panel Woman, a woman who was in a talk show. Right. So it was basically Valerie Cherish, but the sketches were always her on a talk show with like Jay Leno. And there was this moment where Lisa was imagining, what if that Panel Woman was being followed by the reality cameras like Anna Nicole is being. And so she took a meeting with Michael Patrick King, who was just coming off of Sex and the City. And the two of them just clicked, and it's amazing. They met for like 4 hours, and they came up with this meta crazy idea that the show would be about a woman who was a big sitcom star in the 80s, and her comeback is being recorded by reality camera footage. And our show, The Comeback, would be just the reality footage. And just so you guys know, the original concept for The Comeback was that it would never be edited, that we would be showing you the raw footage. In fact, the production company that made The Comeback was called Raw Footage Productions, because we were going to air the raw footage. But of course, the more we wrote, the more we talked about there having to be scenes. We had to, we made it look like it was raw footage, and yet cut it together like as if it was an assembly, right, of raw footage. And it was the beginnings of trying to follow a character who was a legend in her own mind and only came alive when cameras were on. And oh my God, it was before Housewives. So cut to 9 years. We didn't get, it was a big cult hit. HBO did not pick us up for a second season. It was devastating. We did not get over it. 9 years later, by a series of circumstances, which I won't bore you with, we got the opportunity to make another season. And so the second season of The Comeback, 2014, was born, and it was unbelievable, a great experience to make. And I hope we can make a couple more before 9 years.
It is the greatest show of all time. When she is singing I Will Survive, for some reason that just stands out to me. She's the funniest character of all time, and and it was heartbreaking
and beautiful and just so real, and over the like every over the top moment was so real and so grounded and so
and you're seeing none of this woman except what's being captured by a camera, like by some camera crew. That's why the second season was so cathartic, because lots of things happen and test that, and it ends in a pretty amazing way.
So there could be more.
Not right at the second.
Just between us. Yeah.
But the conversation, it never goes away. The conversation is always like, how would, what, you can, and here's the thing about Valerie Cherish, you can put her anywhere. I'm obsessed with the idea of seeing her in Downton Abbey.
Yes.
Just put her in London just for a week even.
Yeah. I mean, in Valerie's England to get on Housewives, it's like, it's all so good. It's all so right.
Thank you. It was the most fun to
And you guys produced a lot together. That show, Who Do You Think You Are, which I really would like to do.
Yeah.
We've done 10 seasons of Who Do You Think You Are? And we're about to come back. Well, we're in the middle of shooting a brand new season.
Can I do it? I'll look up my family on, online.
Don't look up anything. No, you can't look up anything, because if you're going to do it, you have to know nothing.
I know nothing, but I'm saying in these times, if we can't do anything, I'm happy to do some ancestry.com. I'll do what I need to do.
You'll produce your own piece and then put it on.
I'll produce I know nothing.
If you're one of our subjects, please let us do it for you.
Okay. You gotta do it.
But I'm sure.
If you stay in my hotel, let me make your bed.
Okay, but I'm sure they'll come up with some the worst people in the history of time or my lineage, and I'm going to be hopeful that's not the case.
I hope that. There's definitely got to be some I don't know, some.
We have some German ancestry.
Well, it's a fascinating show.
I've always suspected, Casey.
Yeah.
We're coming back to NBC. We started on NBC, then we left to go into TLC for 6 seasons, and now we're coming back to NBC, which is a huge thrill. Let me tell you,
we love TLC over here.
Oh, yeah. We got lots of love for TLC.
No comment.
And you know what? NBC is also great too.
They're both
you know what? They're all just fine. Yeah.
Everybody's doing great.
Okay. And then you also won an Emmy.
Yes. Won an Emmy. One.
Can you tell me what went through? And I feel like this is a lame question, but I'm truly wondering, since I'll, probably never experienced it. What did it, when you heard your name, what went through your body? What happened?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I had an out of body experience.
Do you still remember?
It's not like you don't. I'll never forget it. I did not think I was going to win. I swear to you, I was so unbelievably blown away by being nominated. Of course, it's possible that you could win once you're nominated because the pool is smaller.
Yeah.
I did not think it was possible. And then, Matthew Weiner up there with, I forgot her name, but she's now
it doesn't matter because
dead to me. It doesn't matter. Linda Cardellini.
I thought you meant she's now dead to you. I was like, yeah.
No,
that makes sense.
She's now dead to me.
Doesn't matter. It's not about them.
The actors from Dead to Me, they said my name, and here's the thing: it was at the Schmemmys, right? It was at the Creative Arts Emmys.
Oh, please! That's the only Emmy I'll ever make it to.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm lucky.
But this was the year where they told you had exactly 39 seconds. Why 39? I don't know. 39 seconds from the time you get up from your chair to the time you're finished.
They're counting walk time.
You better run. You better run.
So I ran and talked so fast.
No time for kisses and hugs.
Oh, no.
No time to mention either child, I assume.
I don't think I did.
Yes.
No.
Can I ask one last? Did you thank agents and stuff like that, or did you just cut right to the chase? God and mommy.
No, I only thanked God. Only God.
Who else is there to thank, though?
No. Shonda Rhimes. No, I thanked a lot of people.
Exactly. God. That's who he meant.
No. And can I tell you something? 3 of my agents who had nothing to do with anything in my career for 10 years, were there. So, and I saw them when I got there. So, of course, codependent Dan, of course, I thanked them.
That was your aunt.
Because they were there.
Dan, that was your Al-Anon rock bottom. Your rock bottom of Al-Anon.
Al-Anon. Casey, if you had been there and I'd seen you on the way in, I would have thanked you. I swear.
You were thanking ushers. You were thanking the seat filler. Anyone.
I was so crazy. I've never had an experience like this before. I stepped off stage and I needed alcohol so badly. I was like, who has a glass of champagne? Who has a flask? Who has, I have to calm down. Like my body was shaking. I was so scared. Then there's no alcohol anywhere to be had until...
So insane. Probably something happened at one point.
And I'm not, by the way, I'm not a big drinker. I just needed it to be sedated. Of
course you did.
So it was crazy.
Okay, last thing, and then we're going to jump into Housewives. But will you tell us about the show that you're on currently?
Yes, I play Lewis in a delightful family romantic comedy called The Baker and the Beauty, which is on ABC on Monday nights.
Love it.
And this Monday we're almost done. We have a couple more weeks to go, but it's gotten very exciting. And I play the manager of The Beauty. Ooh. It's played by Nat Kelly. And it's based on an Israeli format. And it's very much like Notting Hill, just a regular guy from a Cuban American family in Miami that runs a bakery, and he falls in love with like the biggest star in the world. And it was a really fun show to shoot. We shot it in Puerto Rico for 5 months.
I think I was following your Instagram when you were there, and you seemed to really be having a lovely time.
Just gorgeous. Well, of course, what you show on Instagram are those moments. Yeah. There's plenty of moments
of you crying and
I spared you.
Searching for alcohol on the beach.
Correct. Clearly, that was a recurring theme. No, I was so desperate to get home to my kids who, now that I'm here with them,
back to Puerto Rico.
Well, please. What was the hurry?
I know.
What was the hurry?
I know.
But anyway, Baker and the Beauty, it's a delight, especially at a time like now. The show is just fun.
Yes, I want fun
escapism.
And easy, and I don't want to be here.
And a shout out to my Israeli brothers and sisters. Let's keep them in biz.
Yes, let's keep them in mind and know that Hulu is airing all the episodes.
No, good.
Not now.
Good.
No, Hulu is airing all the episodes so that you can catch up, and I appreciate you giving me
Hulu, that's wonderful. No, you're the best. Okay, The Baker and the Beauty. I need something to just wash over me.
Yeah,
like a wave.
I want to look at pretty pictures and pretty people, and
that's what it is. The show is pure. It's like a box of chocolates.
That's all I know.
And it's total escapism, and it's people are loving it.
Okay, I love this. Thank you, Dan. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we've got to get back with New York. Let's all just ready ourselves. If you're wherever you are, listening in a closet, escaping your children,
hiding in your car, wherever you need to be right now.
Yes. We're back with Dan Bucatinsky. Okay, Dan, you are a New York and Beverly Hills devotee of the Housewives.
For sure. And since the beginning.
And we're not going to probe into your private friendships, although we want to, but we won't. But I just think it's important to note you are a friend of Carol Radziwill. I love to have someone on who has a friendship that's nice, that feels good, but you're also still willing to kind of discuss the show as a whole with us.
Yes, for sure.
So,
for sure.
Do you have any other friendships of Housewives?
I do. I have a friendship with Lisa Rinna.
I knew it.
That's what I said. Yeah, I was like, he was like, I'm friends with some of the Housewives, and I was like, it's gotta be Rinna.
It's gotta be Rinna.
Always Rinna.
I went to high school. I know Kyle Richards pretty well.
How?
Went to a Christmas party at her house with Carol Radziwill.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Worlds colliding.
There was a moment where Carol and Kyle and Lisa and I were all standing together, and I was like,
"Wow,
okay, this is weird."
This is weird. So did Kyle do the splits? Don't lie.
She didn't at her Christmas party.
Maybe you weren't there late enough.
Maybe she was
a little drink in there.
Left early. You're right. I should have waited. For the splits.
It's after midnight when the splits come out for Kyle.
Well, it's like a mistletoe situation at the Richards home.
Yeah.
If you're under the mistletoe, you get a split.
Or if you just simply ask.
Her hair and do a split.
Or if you ask or don't ask.
Or if you say anything that starts with an S or any of the other letters of the alphabet.
There she goes.
Did you say split? And you're like, no, I said I wanted a vodka tonic. She's like, all right, I'll do a split.
No, I said I wanted to leave. Here we go.
All right. Everybody clear the floor.
I was asking for my ballet ticket, but okay.
I'll do a split right on your car as you leave.
I also went to high school.
Get free with that.
I don't know if you guys knew this. I went to high school with Heather Dubrow.
What?
So we know each other very well.
And what was Heather like in high school?
Her name was Heather Page Kent, and we did shows together. She was an actress even back then.
What shows did you do? Any sort of Merrily We Roll Along or something?
No, we did a show neither of you will have heard of.
Oh,
try me. Sweetie,
Elizabeth Swato's experimental
musical.
I know
Elizabeth Swatto.
Yeah.
Don't even. We went to NYU. We know.
Oh, you guys know. It was Runaways.
Sweetie, Stella Adler.
Oh.
We know. Elizabeth
We did
Swatto.
Runaways in my high school.
Oh, I know Runaways. Of course. How dare you?
We're all theater dorks here.
Okay.
We just want to be liked and entertained.
I feel so much better because.
And so, who did you have a lead? Did she have a lead? Tell us everything.
She, Runaways was an ensemble.
It's a more an
piece,
ensemble, yes, I know.
And so she played this young hooker.
Playing against type.
I played this punk. Also against type.
Yes. Wow.
It's so embarrassing.
Wow, the kids of Orange County really had to find your inner runaway. I'm
and
sure.
She has now been run away from Orange County.
This was upstate New York, actually. No, this was in Westchester County,
New
York. Anyway, so I knew Heather Dubrow, and she was on Orange County for a while. She is nice.
Okay, let's start New York.
She is nice. I don't know what to.
I know,
Dan, there's nothing else you need to say.
Nothing else to say.
Dan, where are you with New York? What do you love?
Well, I'm really kind of intrigued and delighted and then horrified, which is always a great combo with the housewives, with Leah.
Yes.
Because, here's the thing about housewives. You're always looking for your, what do you call it? Like the buoy. You're looking for the one person in any season, and sometimes it's the same person, who's going to sort of speak a language that sounds like it's even 50% grounded and normal and understands the world that we live in and whose brainstem is attached, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Leah's sort of like, oh, okay, she's saying the things. Yes, I get it. She gets it. We're all watching the same thing. Thank God. She, the dress is blue and everyone is saying that it's red. She says it's blue and I see it blue. So thank God.
Like that Instagram meme. It's like, what color is this? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so for years, like you'd grab onto that person. It was,
Kyle.
It was Kyle. It definitely was Kyle for years. It was definitely Bethany. You were like, oh my God, please speak what I was thinking. And they would. Carol was a voice of reason for a really long time in New York.
There was a hot second, even Dorinda. I was like, oh, this is a human that I know. And
I
recognize.
Yes. In the early
Candy
years.
Burris. Yes.
And also, who was the one who became really good friends with Carol? Like they were besties.
Oh, Heather.
Heather.
Yes.
Yeah, Heather was like, oh, I could be friends with this chick. Like, she's not crazy.
I never felt that, but yes.
Okay, well, I had
never
a
felt
vibe.
Friendship, but go on.
But Dorinda, great point. First season, you meet Dorinda, you're like, all right, well, this woman's got it going on. Here's the thing. I think you're in there long enough and something happens.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting to see if just within this season or maybe one season down, we lose Leah for good. Because I think she's got.
Oh, we will absolutely lose Leah, but I like when we just have them still. It's like when you have a toddler and you're like, they're so sweet.
Yes.
They go kind of to the other side, but I totally agree. I love Leah. I'm going to go out and say it. I love her.
Yeah.
It was a wild moment, though, when we saw her sister, because to me, it just looked like Leah playing herself with a dark wig on. It was like when someone plays themselves in a soap opera.
It was like Mark Ruffalo in that.
Yes, exactly.
Or if you're 1,000 like me, it was like Barbara Eden when she played her sister, Jeannie.
Yes.
They're both named Jeannie. One's a brunette and one's a blonde.
Yes, exactly.
It was like Big Business.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
But it was a shock because I was like, is this an Emmy Award performance with she is just playing herself with a bang?
But she really, in her interviews, she's really like on point. She's sort of like, what the fuck? Like, why are we're showing up. This is what we should be talking about. And this is what you say. Like, she says what you want my thing with the housewives is like, you're always screaming at the TV because you want someone to say the thing.
And I only want one person because I want them all unhinged, but I do want a fulcrum, someone like the maypole itself. And
that's
then
exactly
everyone around it. You're right. And sometimes we have been rudderless.
For sure.
On the OC
County right now where we have no way.
Rudderless. And also Leah, who decides that she is somebody who has, potentially a substance abuse issue in her life, but not right now, because it's clearly a decision that one makes depending.
That's where Leah loses me. Go on.
Oh my God. That's where Leah loses me.
So dangerous rhetoric.
It's a scary, well, we could talk about that for days. The notion, I mean, can we just for a second talk about Dorinda, the moment, I guess this is last week, Dorinda, the moment that Luann mistakenly for the 15th time that week, sipped the water and thought, oops, it's vodka. And she goes, you know what? Okay. So can we now put the nonsense to rest? Like she was basically calling her battle with sobriety, which is the most serious thing in the world. My husband's been sober for 36 years. Like, all right, thank God we can put this little.
We got sobriety out of the way.
That's what she said. Yes.
And that it's a choice. It's like, you just choose to not be an addict. The two of them are quite a pair because they're just like enabling each other to the hill.
Well, that conversation.
They all are. They all are. And the whole show is really, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember, there used to be this show that they would show kids in high school called Scared Straight.
Yes, of course.
And it was people from prisons to like scare the hell out of kids into never committing crimes. All the housewives are basically an alcoholic's
they're scaring me straight, all right. I mean, they're not scaring me straight, but they're scaring me.
Am I drinking while I'm watching? Of course.
Of course you are.
Scared that I will turn into them. Sure.
Am I sure? Am I positive I will have an opioid addiction at the end of this pandemic? Yes.
Yes.
But honestly, a stay in a treatment center sounds
like a blast.
Listen,
no, I'm kidding, but I'm doing some soul searching right now. No. I agree. Dorinda, here's the interesting thing. Why won't anyone, and I know it's not a comfortable thing to call someone out for their drinking or whatever, but I feel like the focus is always on Sonia, including with Dorinda's like, Sonia, you don't act like that. And it's like, Dorinda, alcohol is playing a huge part. That's what lights Dorinda on fire and makes her such a bully.
You know instantly when she's just had one little bit too much. And by the way, it's classic alcoholic behavior. So, and again, I'm just talking. I'm not diagnosing her, but when her personality changes that drastically, and it's always when she's had a little bit too much and she comes after you with razor blades.
Because otherwise she's quite like a very, I think, level-headed, self-reflective person.
I don't think she's like that this season. I think she has gone to the dark side even when she's sober. And you can see it gets even darker and meaner. This season has been, there is not a moment of peace or happiness in that one.
No, I'm glad you said that because it's like usually the show has these ebbs and flows, right? So like last week they're at the orchard and she's screaming, "You're invisible, you're invisible, you're nothing. You are." I mean, the things she said to poor Tinsley, whether they were accurate or not, were so unbelievably mean.
So mean.
You can't quite believe she's capable of it. And then you're expecting the episode, which was this week, where it's about repair. It's about restore. It's about rejuvenate.
It's about a Russian bath.
It's about a Russian bath. Leah, back. I was like, Leah, beep, 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 beep. Back away.
I went to that place.
I've been there a million times.
I've been there as well.
It's awesome. It's awesome. But these ladies
I have to say, you do not bring those women for the Upper East Side.
There's no fur check. If there's no fur check, you don't take them there.
When Ramona said to the woman, "Would you put her watch in the thing?" Cartier.
I know.
Tinsley, I will say, like, sometimes I can, like, Tinsley holds on for me where I'm like, they're being so mean to her. But then her behavior in the Russian bath, she does act like so above everything. I did find a lot of their behavior just so fucking classist. Like when Dorinda was going on in that monologue about Canal Street and going below it, I'm like, you racist bitch.
Yeah, stop. Do you have any idea what you're saying? Like, do you know what's below Canal Street?
Exactly.
You know New York is not the same as it was in 1975.
It is a different place. There's like an Urban Outfitters right next to that bath.
Yes.
It's like, it's awesome.
all kinds of culture, and there are expensive designer stores all over. I know,
and when Sonia was like, I call it graffiti town. I was like, these are my grandmas are going downtown.
Well,
these
like
are
when they
the
were all
old
crazy.
ladies.
Yes. And it's like when they were all crazy about the tattoos. It's like, what are we talking about? Guys, this is such an old lady.
But I did enjoy our time at the spa with them when they all were getting I was genuinely laughing out loud. I mean, Ramona is so... watching her get beat with those leaves, I was laughing so hard.
I laughed so hard. She's like, stop, too hard. And they're all so flirtatious with anything.
They can't see a man. They
cannot see a man. They're like, oh,
and
I know
their vaginas just fly open.
Yeah.
And they just are like,
they're like, I know it's in those pants. Yes, we all do. Calm down, ladies. They are unbelievably, all of them in heat.
I also felt like, and I too need to work on like when someone criticizes me and getting defensive and all that, but I did feel like Ramona came at Dorinda with love. She gave her so many caveats, like, I respect you and I love you. I just do think sometimes. And then
like a battered wife, she came at her.
Yes.
She came at her like a battered wife.
And similarly in the 20-minute scene that we saw later that played out over the course of 9 hours at Ramona's weird dinner. I fucking hate Elise. Get the fuck out of here. But it always has to end with Ramona like sobbing her apologies in Dorinda's arms.
Not
and that is how you act with people that you're afraid
but never
of.
a tear shed. I mean, I have never seen one tear come out of Ramona's eye as many times as she was crying.
One time when she and Bethany went to that bar and we're talking about their abusive past. I feel like I maybe saw a half tear then.
I think that was that caught them both off guard in a way that that's not normal for the show. Cause I think they're all so savvy about what is going to make good TV at this point that they know what they're doing. And they're every so often, like that was a classic moment where like a revelation just erupted.
We'll see humanity.
But it's so funny because I feel like Ramona was trying not to poke the bear, and she was getting so close to Dorinda and was just like, listen, I think you're the greatest person in the world. And
I love you so much.
Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. But I just want to say one tiny little thing. Which is
but I don't even think it. I don't even really think it.
And while she was doing all that, Dorinda was just getting like every compliment just made her redder
like,
and angry. She was like, I'm waiting for it to land. And
I'm going to cut you, bitch. I'm going to cut you until you bleed. And she did. And it was amazing because it just all erupted
Dorinda came
again.
in with her feathers up and also in denial because when she was like the apple orchard, I thought it was a beautiful day. It was like, what? You were out of control. You guys were screaming in an orchard.
Well, what really made me laugh is that everyone did know in their hearts that Dorinda's behavior was so terrible to Tinsley, but everybody still had to say, though, she's got to stop screeching. She's got to stop screeching. Yes. They hate the sound of her voice. That's how much they hate this person. Why can't guys? I'm not being like funny. I want her to look into like polyps and vocal like
nodule surgery.
Yes. Something's going on with her voice that is not
Tinsley.
normal. Yeah, we're on episode 8 and her voice is still going.
You know what it is?
What?
I once had a voice instructor tell me that girl at NYU.
Yeah.
Who said, because I think I was like kind of speaking up here too, and that women that have not gotten like, who have like daddy shit, you know what I mean? Like who have not been grown up still tend to talk in this little girl voice and they stifle their woman voice.
Wow.
And then they get nodules.
Danielle, that's deep because I think that there's truth in that.
And they don't come into their full voice.
I think playing the little girl served her for so many years that now you're
it is like whatever happened to baby Jane.
Yeah.
It's like she is like, I've written a letter to daddy. Like she's something's going on with her.
And she's never become the woman. And so now that little girl voice is trapped, but it's also like she's not breathing, she's not grounded, and so she's losing that. She's losing.
Struggle with some alcohol issues as well.
Oh, for sure. All of them. It's just like everywhere you turn. It's so upsetting.
It's so upsetting.
And yet, is it the gasoline that makes the engine run?
It is a little bit. It is a little bit. We don't really want to see them sober, which is sad.
I mean, look, no one wants to see the wizard out of Oz.
No.
But it is what it is.
Oh my God. Can I ask you a question? 2 words. Dr. Daryl.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my God. Dr. D.
Doctor. A doctor.
I know. I was like, he's no way a doctor just because he's wearing a lab coat and named himself doctor.
Dr. Daryl is not working, doctor. It's not working.
No. What school? Like what area of medicine are you coming from?
Yes, there's no area that you can pinpoint.
Life coachery.
His office. It's like it says he's a life coach, but then I was seeing like contraptions that he clearly like hooks up to people. I'm like, are they going to hold on to cans?
But
what
clearly,
is happening?
Dorinda has a way of talking where she's able to get so many words out without letting any. It's like a train that is not stopping at any stop for anything or for anyone. And I think some people interrupt, but Dr. Daryl is the guy who will, for money, will let you get to the end of your sentence, your station. Dorinda had it all worked out. He didn't say a word.
And then I think in her head, she's like, I'm doing the work, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the work and you're not. I'm doing the work with this like strange man. I mean, what an odd pair for her to like tell her woes to.
It was, and by the way, that was a long scene. They played out. They didn't cut. She talked a lot about the loss and about what she's going through.
And I was crying at one point. I cannot tell a lie.
It was a counterpoint to the unbelievable rage and meanness that happened at the end of the episode.
And you know what? She owned it, though. She said, I behaved badly to Dr. D, but then she wouldn't own it at all with Tinsley. It ended up with Tinsley saying she was no longer going to judge Dorinda. How insane is that?
Oh, wait a minute. Let's talk about the fact that they're all talking about not judging each other. And in the interviews, even after the fact, they're all saying things like, well, she's got problems. She's definitely got problems. And she's definitely, she needs to grow up. And she obviously, I mean, they're completely judgmental. Let's just not judge each other anymore and respect each other. We're girls. We're girls. I love that.
Not a one of them.
Not a one.
And Ramona, like, I just like to bring women together as friends. Women friendships are so important. I was like, who
the looks on those women's faces, like Ramona's assistant, and like they just looked so horrified. Even though they knew what they were getting into, they were still shocked.
Did she not know the cameras were rolling and that we've all been watching for 11 seasons?
Elise needs to get the fuck out. I don't want Elise directing traffic anymore, telling who to go where.
Know.
She's a friend of that has gone awry.
And she had her first like to the camera moment today. Testimonial. It was a shot. I know. I forgot the word. I don't
know the camera. To the camera.
She had her
first testimonial
in front of camera at face today. She had her first testimonial today, and it felt awkward. I was like, "Get this woman off my screen. I don't want her. I don't like her." Yeah, it's
like she's a part-timer or something. She's a recurring.
She is, but I want her to be an under 5 or a background artist and get the fuck off my screen.
When they're fighting and Dorinda goes, you know what you've got? And then she holds up her iPhone and then just plays Google Translate saying schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude. Oh, I know.
It was. She was like, you know what you've got? Like, and she was just like,
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Siri says
she had that at the ready?
Yeah, ready.
Oh my God, the whole cab ride there, she was figuring out her shit. She was like, I know what I'm going to say. She came armed for bear because she came in there and guns a-blazing saying like, you did the wrong thing yesterday. And boom, the thing exploded.
But to leave it to Google Translate to not say it yourself.
She was like, I'm going to fuck this up. I better get a professional to say this.
Or Siri or whatever.
I don't think she wanted to look bad saying it, mispronouncing it.
Did you see the look on her that Ramona gave the other guests when they walked back in? Like, what can you do? Like, you know how it goes. It was such a great
I was surprised that they went into the hallway. They had the screaming in the hallway, and then they worked their way back into I couldn't believe it. I was like, what a turnaround.
What a turnaround.
And you couldn't land a boulder? You couldn't land a boulder. You couldn't land a boulder.
Okay, guys, you know what moment I did not feel in the scheme of that insane scene was given enough weight? They tried to underscore it with a little music, like they gave it a little something, but this is when Ramona just goes, oh, Richard died.
I know.
I was I feel like Dorinda didn't totally catch it.
I know. I thought it was
nuts. They go dun dun with the music, but there was so much more screaming. She's like, Richard died. I was like, okay, now wait. And Dorinda,
but I almost thought she turned it around in the middle of it because she did something weird when she goes, it's like, she goes, Richard died. And then turned it into like sympathetic, like it was like she was being an asshole, and then she realized.
You're right, Danielle, because you're right, Danielle, because I was like, why did Ramona turn this around so quick where she's sobbing in her arms? It's because she knew she went too far.
She knew she went too far, and she literally in the moment did a 180. It was strange, it was awkward, but it because worked. There was so much screaming, like, but I was like, that was a save.
I know. She realized how far she was going and had to abort. I feel like she was saying that like tomorrow or in 2 days is the anniversary of Richard's death. And so get over it kind of thing was where she was headed. She was sort of like, this can't give you the right to just be mean to everybody. And then Dorinda said, you go for the is it just me or were they all mispronouncing jugular?
No one got it quite right.
You're going for the jugular.
Google Translate jugular.
No one landed the jugular plane.
Jugular, no. You just go for the jugular. You go for the jugular every time. I feel
like I have a lot of Dorinda in me, and I've said this, and I think it's why I have a bad reaction to her. Like when my husband's like, hey, he'll even say anything to me like, I think we need more milk. And he's like sometimes musing aloud, but I take it like he's saying like, oh, I'm the one that has to fucking get it. And I'll be like, and at the Christmas party last year, you called me a bitch. Like I will go 20 years back off of like a very like innocuous comment. And it's not a great quality. And I'm just saying that out loud for myself. It's not.
Well, I'm glad that you are able to see that. And see that there's room for growth.
And that's my work with Dr. Daryl as well.
You're working with Dr. Daryl, even though he's not a doctor.
I work with any healer of any stripe.
Can I ask you girls a question? You guys have been friends for how long?
10 years? 12?
How often do you ask each other to feel your boobs?
It hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened.
I mean, what is it about their love for their own bodies and their need to have each other touch them? I feel like we see it every season.
I feel like so many fake boobs are there too that like they're in a mood to like show them off and to have them out and about. I think there's a lot.
It's like when you have a new purse. You're like, I want my friends to see my new purse and to give me my feedback on it.
Sure.
Right. Yes. It's almost like that no one is touching their body because they're touching something that's been placed upon their body.
Yeah. Wait a minute. We have to make a comment about the number of times Sonia told people that she brought Ramona the dress in a large.
Oh my God.
It was so transparent.
Goes, well, I wear a medium and you wear a large.
Well, I guess it was because Ramona had said earlier that Sonia had gained weight. But then don't forget that Ramona told everyone that Sonia had really bad crup, like on her chest instead of craping. She was like, she's got really bad crap or something. She missed. What word did she?
She didn't say craping.
No, she said creeping. I think
she's saying that about a friend in front of camera.
Oh, I know.
She's like, who's got it really bad is our other dear friend.
My
best friend in the whole world. I love you so much.
She looks old as hell on her chest.
She's so fat and she's so old, and I love her with all my heart. I don't need friends like this because Dorinda and Ramona and Sonia
really well to bring that dress back. That was a great way to address that. Sonia's gotten a lot of passive aggression and also like a lot of feelings out via her fashion line. She's like working through it by trying on the tracksuit for Leah. She's giving Ramona the dress in the right size. It's like she's getting a lot done through that line emotionally.
She is.
But Sonia also cracked me up when she was talking because when Dorinda said to Ramona, you bring up things for so long ago. You brought up that thing that I said to Luann 2 years ago. And Sonia goes, that was 17 diarrheas ago.
Yeah, totally.
Cartagena or whatever. She goes, that was 17 diarrheas ago.
But this is the thing. Like, if you've, how any of them ever drink again, if they've ever seen themselves on this show completely obliterated and see the way they behave, how does any of them ever let a camera roll while they take a sip of anything?
I think being a housewife they've made that deal with the devil. Like, honestly, that's for the show. That's what they're able to also tell themselves, which we don't have that fallback in life. Like, that's what makes good TV. And I'm giving the people what they want. And Dr. Daryl's not stopping me.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And they come in like Sonia the next day after being wasted on TV. Like, we've saw fresh as a daisy in a workout class and like a pigtail. Like, she's not.
I would have been in bed for a week if I drank that much.
Me too. She was throwing up in the car.
In the nice van.
In the nice van. And the next day she comes in workout clothes and a $40,000 handbag. I don't know how she has that. And she's like, what? What are you all talking about? It's like, you were. She's like, you've never been drunker in your entire life. Was that handbag
from an older life?
Possibly. Because it's not from the receipts from the new Sonia line.
No, it's
we all
from Century 21.
We all know that.
And we haven't heard anything about the Century 21 placement, but I think let's keep our ears open.
That's
guys, we need to move on to Beverly Hills, Dan, so we don't take your whole night. Should we take a quick break and go to Beverly Hills?
Yes,
Can't wait.
Okay, so Beverly Hills.
Now,
you, again, have a relationship with Rinna. So have you been to any of these parties or anything? Oh, yeah, you said you went to Kyle's.
I went to Kyle's Christmas party, but it was a few years ago. I mean, Carol, I think, was a new housewife at the time. So that could have...
And was that filmed?
It was 6 years ago. No.
It wasn't on film.
It was at the old house. I mean, let's talk about Kyle's new manse.
Casey and I have been there.
You have?
Yes, we interviewed her, I want to say, about 2 years ago, and she had just moved in. And this was like when she had newly been, like, I think, robbed, so she wasn't feeling that comfortable in the place. But it is gorgeous. It has grounds. I've never seen grounds before.
Like Los Angeles, to have such an East Coast vibe to it, it's kind of like an estate.
It's truly an estate. It's gorgeous. A huge front yard, a huge backyard, dogs and geese just running wild on the property.
Of course they are, because that is exactly what I would expect, because my theory about Kyle is constantly being validated. She is 100% becoming Lisa Vanderpump.
Whoa.
Think about the...
Wow.
Because Kyle, by the way, God love her. Kyle has always been the voice of reason. She speaks her mind.
She's done her time.
She's done her time. And I think it's like, I am now the one with the animals, the dogs like crazy. She's in love with her dogs. There's geese on the property. She speaks her mind.
What's that word? And I need Google Translate. Doyenne. Doyen?
Doyen? Doyen? We all need Google Translate.
Doyenne.
Doy. Okay. Why? And what is it?
What's happening?
Let it go. But that's what.
A doy?
Yes.
Doyenne. A woman who is the most respected or prominent person in a particular field.
Oh, okay.
She wants to be the doyenne.
She wants to be the doyenne.
We were like,
well played, by the way.
Wow, you said it perfectly, but we didn't recognize the word.
No, I had to look it up.
I didn't even look it up. I was like, that's not English. I don't know what you're talking about.
I had to schadenfreude. I should have.
Doyenne. Oh, doyenne.
There it is, doyenne.
Doyenne. Yeah, I think Kyle is now like not putting up with anything. Whatever she's thinking, she will say. She has got immunity, in the words of a Survivor player. She is like, won't take it from anybody and kind of wants everyone to kiss the ring.
But the only problem.
Oh, go ahead, Danielle.
Oh, I was going to say, though, you've opened this up. You've really like cracked my head open as this is that she wants to be the new Lisa. And now I see it a different way, but it's like, she's not Lisa because Lisa is cold as ice.
Yes.
She can't Lisa could handle anything that people threw at her. And even when she cried, it was always sort of, it felt manipulated and it felt she did it when she wanted to, why she wanted to. So when people throw things back at Kyle, she can't handle it. She doesn't have the ice in her veins.
No, exactly. Kyle is a warm, here's the thing. She's a lovely, warm mother. She and her husband seem to have a great rapport. Like she's still kind of like hippie earth mom, but They have tons of money, and she's been on the show for a very long time. And I don't think she wants to take any shit or any bullshit from anybody. And sometimes it's not even bullshit, but it like reeks of it. So she just jumps.
And I think she's turning more and more into Kathy too, Kathy Hilton.
Yeah.
A little bit. She's just like, fuck it. I totally am hearing this now. And I agree.
think there's a little bit of like, oh God, I so don't have time for this. Like you guys, you know, and by the way, I'll tell you, the Kyle who called Dorit out on showing up to that workout, having done 3 hours of glam, she never would have called her out 5 years ago.
Never.
That would have been a thing that's like, well, some of us have different levels of how much hair and makeup we want.
She would have just been like, you were late. That was rude.
That would have been it. But she's sort of like, really? You're coming to this event and you did that much glam and you didn't even work out? She just was looking. She didn't want her to get away with it.
Yeah.
And it was the cause of a lot. I mean, that's going to be the thing.
Okay. I want to ask a question, and this will be before we get into Erica and Mr. Girardi. That's coming. So everybody just put it on your head and your heart, because we need a second before we get to Grandpa and me. And that is, do you think there's anything strange about Teddy and Kyle's relationship? Like, June and I have, like, my dear friend Amanda and I still take baths together. Like, what's the problem? Am I wrong?
Here's the problem with it, though. Kyle refuses to say that I'm closer with Teddy than the rest of you. And that's where people are starting to go, because there's nothing weird about the relationship. They're really close. No. But when they ask Kyle, I don't know why they need to ask her, but when they ask her, but just admit you're close, you feel more for Teddy than you do the rest of us. She won't say it. So then everyone starts to get pissed.
Yeah. I know, but they do ask her to admit it, and she should just own it.
Yeah.
But they always ask with a hint of, you're doing something wrong. You're not treating all of us the same. You act like you're my friend, but you're clearly not, because you're friends with Teddy.
But also intimating there's like homosexual under.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's very, I don't know. I'm like, do we need to go there? Like, they just seem like a bit of an alliance. And I think Teddy to me is similar to Tinsley. It's like, no matter what happens, no matter what she does, people are annoyed by her. It's just what it is.
Because she's annoying. And that's
and
it isn't to see like a Doyen, partner with the low man.
Again, I don't think that's a word. I know you looked it up and it said it's a word.
When a Doyen partners with a low person on the totem pole, it's like, ooh. I think they're baffled by it.
But a Doyen.
They're all threatened by it, though. They're all jealous.
They're threatened by it. Yes.
And it's like, guys, and I wish, and Kyle's the kind of person, because she's so kind of level-headed and no bullshit, which is it's what we love about her. That's when you're screaming at the TV and you're like, Kyle, just tell them that, like, why does this threaten you so much? That's what you should look at. Like, okay, so I talk to her more times a day than I talk to you guys.
The response is weird.
You want the response to not quite be so attacked, like defensive.
Right.
What do you mean? I would do this with anybody, and I'm not. What do you mean? She's very defensive about it, which just gets everybody's
like,
goat.
oh, that's my best friend. What do you guys care?
But she won't say that.
She's like a younger sister.
Now, do we want to head to where we're heading?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Girardi.
Okay.
Now look, I like how you whispered, Girardi.
Because what we saw in that scene was so upsetting.
Yeah. Now look.
In that parlor.
Where she spoke to him in a way that I've only spoken to elder relatives of mine. To my grandfather. Yes.
With reverence and respect.
Yes.
With a man who has been in World War II.
To someone who I love dearly, but I've not shared a bed with.
Did you not feel like she was respectful to him?
Oh no, she was.
So respectful. It's like, that's my grandfather who has like seen combat and who is also no longer with us mentally, and it's like you're treating them with a certain such respect and care.
Laughing at his jokes, being like, he tells the best stories. Like all of them.
He's like, everybody get it now. It's like, everybody don't get it now.
And also to say in front of him, if I were with my husband right now and we're just like this couple and we're talking about it, it's like, now do you see why I love him?
Yes,
now do you
I
see?
know.
It's like, what?
It was
no,
so
that's
embarrassing.
Terrifying.
And everyone's like, you're such a great storyteller, Tom. But I'm like, but can we hear some of this?
Yeah, we've heard none of the stories.
And
she's nothing. One step away from going, can I get you a cheese stick, Tommy? Like, she's one step away from wiping his
I actually do like Tom. Like, I would be thrilled if Tom were my grandpa. Like, I'd be
By the
thrilled.
way, he's so together.
He's like
so
a very
rational.
nice person.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that relationship, but I feel no spark of marriage, of it just it doesn't feel like a marriage.
For a while I was like, this is really cool. It's like this woman who's kind of like, one side of her is this Pasadena rich lady society woman, and this other side of her is this fierce alter ego. But now I'm like, wait a fucking second here.
I don't think she's
living in that place in Hollywood. 100% she lives there. Mm-hmm. Something's going on over here. It's too incongruous. Like it doesn't mix anymore. It's not.
Their lives are not together.
No, they've been together for 20 years. She's put in the time, and loves her. He does look like he loves her so much.
She loves him,
and she loves him.
But
so
when
maybe
she's like, okay, baby, let's walk you to bed. Like let's put you upstairs. Let's tuck you in.
Kind of.
It was just odd. And
I don't know.
Maybe that's where their relationship has.
I did too.
I found it kind of sweet.
It just feels they are in very different places in their lives, and not age-wise.
For sure. Yes. Yeah.
But not even just age-wise.
I want to believe this is like, and look, no one's relationship. I'm sure there's relationships with the exact same age that are so much less healthy than theirs.
Look, do you remember Aviva's father and that manicurist that were together?
Another beautiful
that was
relationship.
A beautiful relationship.
Huge age gap.
I mean,
and yet I felt
a
sexual
connection.
I felt more of a connection.
Yes,
I loved them together.
I did. I'm not even being. I'm just saying, like, an age difference is not my problem.
But wait, can we go back a week? Remember the moment where and it was just I think the whole thing was a presentational parlor scene that had been produced within an inch of its life. Everyone had on the call sheet exactly where on the couch they were going to be sitting. Everybody knew what time.
3 p.m. dinner for Tom.
All I want.
I mean, I think that scene was produced, and the scene that I found so touching between them, and maybe this is why I'm so defensive, is a week earlier when she was signing her contract, and he goes, "Honey, this is a big deal," and hearing him tell her how proud he was, I just found that to be really sweet.
Man, I cried my eyes out at that scene. I love it,
and it felt like that's what they're probably.
Yeah.
Yes,
it is fatherly,
which is also fine. Like,
listen,
I want someone to take care of me. Like, we all want that.
When she was doing that dance rehearsal, I was crying.
You can't swing a Birkin in this town without finding some woman with daddy issues.
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
correct.
But you know what? Not in this Zoom. And I also our producers, our engineers. I'm counting y'all. And no, I'm kidding. I think like. There's something nice, though, what I think you're pointing to, Dan, and maybe I'm wrong. It's like, yes, we want to say it's fatherly and all that, but it does seem to have healed something. Like sometimes when people are with someone that's fatherly, it's like, oh my God, it's all wrong. It's like in that moment, I felt like it was all worth it. Like something had been healed from the trauma of her past when they were signing that contract. So it is beautiful in a way. It's just as odd as
it is really odd. And I guarantee you, like the first decade of it was like people probably judged it for exactly what it looked like. But I think she's like she's got some real pain that she's willing to sort of wear on her sleeve. And she's come a long way. And she's pure show folk, like for real. Yes. And when we saw her in that dance studio, I was like, this chick can dance.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Incredible.
I think we all felt I was simply just so jealous. Like, oh my God, Erica's going to go off and do this lead in Chicago and she's getting her dreams realized. Believe me, I love Erica. And I was
also relieved. You know, that moment where you're relieved, if, for example, if the same thing were happening for Luann, not to jump to New York, but if Luann were going to be playing Roxy in Chicago, I know. We would all feel a different level of what was happening. And I
think Luann will be playing Roxy when they open up and it's like post-corona shows where no one's there, they're going to be like, okay, Luann.
You can do it.
All right.
No, but you saw Erica really dance and you're like, oh my God, I'm so relieved. Like they gave it to someone who knows how to move, knows how to sing, and she's going to be great.
And Danielle and I were in town, and we are remiss, Danielle, because we're not remiss. We saw David Byrne's show, which was like the greatest thing I've ever seen. But I wish we had stayed one more night and seen Erica's, because apparently she was awesome.
Wait, can I ask you guys a question about something not related to Erica?
Please.
And this is a real question. And I haven't talked to Lisa in a long time, but I'm a little curious as to whether you felt like there was a lot of mention of whether or not Lisa's daughter had made a mistake by coming back to LA. Why was that being played out in this episode? Like, why is that for all of us to hear so many times? Do you think it's like she doth protest too much? Because I think her daughter's doing great. That opening was amazing. They've got a line of clothes. Those dads, Don and I know Harry and Lisa really, really well. We've been out to dinner with them. They're good parents. I felt like she needed to explain something, and I don't think she ever does. I think her kids.
Maybe I'm wrong. You know Lisa, but to me it seems like Lisa's a hustler. Although she said she didn't finish school either, but I feel like she has maybe some embarrassment surrounding it of like, I let my kids come home and be coddled or something, is the way maybe she fears it will look.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's too bad.
But I also feel like, because of course her kid is suffering, they're not enjoying school. They do have a mental issue and an eating disorder. And if my child had an eating disorder and was unhappy at school, I'd be like, come the fuck home now.
Me too.
In a second.
That's my point. I'm like, so with Lisa, I'm like, Lisa, you're all making the right decision. And her daughter's so outspoken about it, and she's like coming forward about it. And it's all so healthy. I felt bad in a way that they felt the need to apologize for it.
Well, Teddy was like, I wouldn't let my kid come home. And I was like, fuck you.
Well, you know what? You don't know until your own kid is suffering.
Your kid's crying and suffering and has issues that are unresolved that you're still working through. Come the fuck home.
Now, I want to know whether you think that Lisa knew that she had the same dress as Erica before she.
I don't think so.
No,
I
don't
those
think
three
so.
women showed up in pink tuxedo dresses and were shocked.
How about when Kyle was like, I saw it, but I didn't buy it.
Didn't buy it. Oh, slam.
Oh
my God. Guys, wait. Okay, Garcelle turned on Kyle.
I was glad she did.
I am too, but I didn't know this was brewing between them. Did you have any inkling?
No.
I didn't know it, but I do think Garcelle's not wrong. And
you're like, but I know it now.
But I know it now when it's spoken aloud. Then I know it.
Yes, now we all know it.
I've always known it.
And Kyle, yes.
Oh, you knew.
I've always known it from the moment it was said to me.
Yes, I knew it.
The minute it was said, I started to know it.
I knew it.
Yeah.
But the minute it was said, I knew it 10 years ago.
Oh, I knew it like I've never not known it. The moment it was said.
Tell me something I don't know.
I will say though, and it played out because Garcelle was like, you've never taken the time with me. And this goes back to what you were saying, which is like, she's not up for bullshit. She's like, I'm the king, bitch here. And I'm in charge, and everyone can bow down in front of me.
Because the old Kyle would have been beside herself.
I know.
Exactly.
Cool
I know.
And kind of cool and with it as Garcelle to be like, you don't even know me. Kyle literally was like, like,
yeah, and then literally they're like, Garcelle is leaving now, and she was like still.
I'm telling you, 5 years ago, that Kyle would have been like, "Oh my God, did I make you feel that way?"
The car.
I am mortified. And instead, I think what bothered me is that Garcelle is a strong woman who knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to.
And a real actress, the kind of actress that Kyle would like to be.
With the kind of tough schedule Kyle is saying that she has.
Exactly.
Right.
That 1 week on Halloween has been this whole episode.
God.
But I think the need for Kyle's validation is what makes me feel like she's taken this Vanderpump position where people are like, you know what? You don't give me the time of day. It's like, well, then ignore her. That's one thing I love about Denise. Denise doesn't give a fuck about anything. No. She's like, all right, then don't call me or don't text me
I think something's very off about Denise.
Well,
what do you mean?
The censure does not hold. There's something going on. Like, it's like I kind of with Erica, and I think we're going to get there, but it's like, she seems this one way, but she's like, I'm not that way, but I am. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Believe me. I had such a love for Denise last year. I don't know. Just something seems.
Well,
I'm not talking about the Brandy stuff.
Because that's a coming. That's a coming.
That's a coming.
That's a coming.
That train's like with this guy
about to roll into the
nonsense.
station.
Oh, I know.
Like, I can't totally understand.
I know.
She's trying to make everybody feel bad about comments. And it's like, what's happening?
Denise is a moving target. I feel like, I got her. And then she's, I think you're right. And then I'm like.
Well, that sort of prudeness in front of her kids suddenly was strange.
But how many times is she going to make people apologize for what was obviously a mistake? Like, it was a heat of the moment thing. You're on a reality show that you've put your kids on. So, like, you must know people are going to scream at each other at a picnic.
And you constantly talk on this reality show about fucking your husband and his big donkey dick. Like, let's not.
I know, but but by the way, how many times does one thing?
Donkey dick.
Denzon donkey dick.
Oh my God. The words that get uttered while watching any of these shows, which is like, you're on a reality show. You do know cameras are in the room with you, right? Like that question gets asked all the time.
And they just let them fall away so beautifully.
It just happens.
Do you think Garcelle is going to side with Denise during this whole thing?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
And who was in the car with them? Rinna?
Yeah.
Yeah, Garcelle.
She was the one in the middle.
Garcelle,
Rinna. Okay.
And then
Rinna and Erica are always together.
But then Garcelle went after what Kyle wore.
Oh, that was good. And she was like, what the hell was she wearing?
And then someone sent me that Kyle like Instagram or tweeted something today where she was like mad that Garcelle had said that. And then I kind of
thought she looked kind of cute. Was that wrong?
Well,
and
Kyle?
I normally I'm a hater of Kyle's fashion.
So am I. I loved what Kyle was wearing. So I didn't quite understand it.
I think the bangs ruin every outfit.
Well, by the way, Garcelle in that opening scene with all of her girlfriends, best hair ever. It's like, honey, you figured it out.
And I want to see the reality show with her and her girlfriends, honestly, too.
Danielle,
was fun
I thought
to
that.
watch.
I'm like, are we getting a spin-off?
I was like,
normally when the women bring their friends around, it's like, not
happening. Well, like Ramona. But this group, especially the one poor woman who's just her whatchamacallit, like title that was just Will Smith's ex-wife. And that's a tough.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
I know.
It was like her, whatchamacallit.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
They're like,
Chiron.
what should we write? What should we write? And
I know,
they're
it's like they can't just call her like Samantha.
That reminds me of a story which is so not Housewives related, but I went to Vegas years ago and some casino off the beaten path had a giant marquee outside that said, tonight, in the showroom, Lorna Luft, and then in parentheses it said Liza's sister. And it's like, oh my God.
What about Judy's daughter? Not Judy wasn't even like.
They ran out of letters. I think they were going to, but they ran out of the big black letters. Here's the thing about Garcelle.
Like Sid's daughter.
Garcelle fell into the trap because early in the episode, she's with her girlfriends. She referred to herself as a girl's girl. And I think girls who refer to themselves as girls are not.
Wow, you think they're trouble?
I think that they have issues.
A lot of gals that make.
I mean, Ramona considers herself a girl's girl.
That is someone who has no self.
Or someone who's picked up on the fact that this is like something people like.
Right.
Women like to know.
I'm good around a lot of women. It's like, no, says you.
Right. You don't have to say that.
No, that's the thing. Let other people call you a girl's girl. You don't ever refer to yourself as a girl's girl.
Okay.
Just, note to self. I refer to myself as a girl's girl.
I'm going to go around saying, I hate women. And then people will know I'm a girl's girl.
Danielle, you're such a girl's girl.
Guys, 2 quick moments we did not talk about. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. This is just reminding me when Kyle was like, at least I have friends or something like that to Erica. And Erica goes, I do have friends, Kyle, and I consider you one of them. What a fucking comeback.
Oh my God. That was, why did she say that? Why did Kyle say that?
I've never seen Kyle be
It was so Dorinda.
I have, but it was so Dorinda.
It was so Dorinda.
And Kyle looked shocked, she said. Yeah, she was scared.
I can't believe it came out of her mouth. It was so untethered to anything.
I was like, wow, Kyle's playing with fire here. That's a sore spot for Erica, and it was really mean.
Oh, it was so mean, and I didn't understand it. Like, how much pain is Kyle in, really, that she would want to hurt that badly? I mean, Dorinda's in a lot of pain, which is why she's lashing out. But
she knows she's taking care of her elderly grandfather right now.
Who, Kyle is?
No, Eric.
Eric.
No, honey, that's her. No, Casey, that's her husband.
No, that's her great grandfather, Casey. No, that's her great grandfather. That's her great.
Are we going to have time to talk about? Are we going to have time to talk about Dorit that is now renovating the Olive Garden?
It is so.
And not just
Buca de Beppo.
It's a chain. It's a chain.
And it has a specific
chain.
It also this chain. It's like going into a Fridays and having
Fridays,
yes, and being
there
like,
are 4 booths over there.
Change the
I'm
vibe
take
of these
this area
4,
by the bathrooms here.
And really class
Listen,
it up. Like, what?
We're going to get into business together. I'm going to give you table 4, table 7, and the
they're not even together.
And the 2 top by the bar, and you just do your thing. You do your thing. Just stay on budget.
And you just please get some neon signs that go with what we already have. Like, what?
And they were talking. They were talking like they were Oprah at Apple, like coming up with a new show with Reese Witherspoon. Like,
and how bad? Yes, and how bad was it when she was like, I can't do her voice. I always finish what I start. Like, I give everything 100,000,000%. And then she's like, what would you give me 1 to 10? He's like 3. And then she just like accepted it. She was like,
got it.
Okay.
Copy that.
Okay, a 3.
Now, why are we seeing so many testimonials, as I hear they're called, not person-facing camera, but testimonials with PK and Dorit? Like,
because
they're the only
so much
couple.
Fascination with the two of them together, and I'm actually appreciating a dual testimonial, and I'd like more of them.
I think it's
with
all
everybody
part of,
or just those 2?
Her with that shiny little cabbie hat.
I mean, it's a little bit.
Guys, I am warming to PK.
No,
I am
don't
too.
let it happen.
I'm attracted to PK.
I am.
Don't ever say that again.
And so is Dorit. They have something.
They do.
She loves him.
But there is so much negative press about their business dealings and the bankruptcy and all that stuff. I think.
Oh, I don't want to go into business.
No,
but I do
you want him to give you the business.
I want him to give me the business.
I can't believe you guys are. That can't really be true.
I'm as serious as
you
death.
have imagined him naked.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, then scene over.
But I will.
Because look,
I can see getting swept up by him.
Okay.
Yes, like Leah says.
In the back corner booth of a Buca de Beppo.
And like Leah said.
If it's been redone recently by Dorit.
Yes, only in a
Dorit. Can someone find out where we are in that process and just get
we need
someone go to Encino during the teen. Stick your head in a window at the Buca de Beps
and see what we got.
See what we got's going on.
Wait, have you guys mentioned Sutton's place yet?
Oh no.
What is that?
It's unclear.
And
now,
everyone is everyone's acting like this is where I feel like they're off the rails this season, just because no one is speaking the voice of like, I want someone in a testimonial to go, who is this woman? And like
Erica has started,
Erica's
but like
started.
we haven't yet heard you're right. We haven't heard the full blown, like, who the fuck is this
She's
person?
Like couture, and she's wearing a dust ruffle tied really big, like a poodle bow right here. And she's in the car and she's like, well, that's just mean. I'm like, spoken by the meanest person none of us have ever seen before.
She has no place here. I feel like she's so bad that they're just like ignoring her.
Yeah, but they are all so
like cry every episode.
And why is Kyle taking up for her?
I know.
And suddenly so
they're
close
so
with
eager.
This, like,
they're so
woman.
eager to be friends with her. I think that it's like, again, on the call sheet it says scene 6 at the restaurant, Kyle defends. I mean, it feels produced to me. Like they want you to
Sutton.
Watch out for Sutton because she's got no other friends.
Right. And they're probably like, if someone doesn't have any connection with anyone,
we're screwed. Like we need.
And they're like, yeah, Lisa brought her in, but now Lisa's turned on her after one episode. So that's not feeling real.
You heard she was supposed to hold the diamond, right?
No. What?
Oh, this is gossip. Are we allowed to gossip on this show?
Of course, that's all we want.
Just kidding. I heard, and it's unsubstantiated, that she was supposed to hold the diamond, but there were things about her personal life that she would not allow cameras to see. Oh, yeah. We don't know what that is. Maybe her family or something. And so they downgraded her to whatever that next thing is.
friend. Wow.
It's what Luann was that one season that she wasn't holding the apple.
Until Luann fell in the bush. That makes so much sense because we've heard hide nor hair of Sutton's provenance.
No, it's like they're not really going in there. She's just there to stir up. And
she cries, and we see her and those little legs just sort of like walking up and down.
So mean, but then cry so much,
also,
like a victim.
I can't figure out her, like, is she 80 or is she 30?
We've had that discussion.
Oh, sorry.
Exactly.
Okay.
No,
because
it's important. It's a question that many people have.
I can't figure out, I can't figure her out. She's a big question.
From a different angle, it's a different person. Yeah. And I have a similar look about me. And so, game recognizes game. Even if the game is people don't know if you're 100 or 10.
Shut up. You only look 10.
No, I mean, you're adorable. But there are similarities in me and Sutton, so I feel like I can speak on it. And I
don't agree. But Sutton is a mystery, and I'm not sure I'm interested or have the capacity right now to try to figure it out.
I have a feeling we're going to be glad when the season's over that she was there, because I think
really?
I have a feeling when we look back.
Okay, you have a feeling.
Now, I love that.
Go ahead, Danielle.
I was also going to say that one thing I would like to say is that did everybody notice that Kyle's dogs got chirons?
Yes.
That was just...
They're doing that fun sometimes now with strawberry shortcake and cupcake or whatever their names
I forgot.
are.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but it is fun. It's like they're letting us know who everyone is now, be it Will Smith's ex, be it Kyle's 27 dogs.
And are you liking hearing the producer ask the question?
Love it.
Yes, I love when they pull the curtain back. Love it.
It's like in a chorus line, like hearing him, he's like, how did you feel when this happened? Like Zach in a chorus line. I like it. He's kind of with us now, that man, and I'm attracted to his voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's BK, so it makes total sense.
Oh, that's great. Happy that it is. Happy.
Dan, you are a delight.
You guys are the best.
You really gave us a lot of food for thought.
Right. You did. You really cracked it open with the Kyle being the new Lisa to me. That really spun my head around.
Wow.
And God, you had so many great hot takes for us, and it was just a joy just really getting into the nuts and bolts and pulling it all apart.
Well, it was a blast. You guys made me laugh so hard, and I love these shows so much that it's fun to be able to talk about them.
And, thank you for being here.
And everybody watch
The Baker and the Beauty.
Thank you.
On ABC.
10 o'clock on Monday.
ABC. Watch Who Do You Think You Are? Go back, watch The Comeback. Watch Marry Me with Dan playing my father inexplicably. Watch Scandal.
Yes. And 25 Words or Less, 5 days a week on Fox stations. That's our game show.
God, you have a lot.
You've got to play 25 Words or Less. You'll have a blast. We'll have you on.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready. I'm ready to do it all. I mean, Dan, you're such a great guy. Thank you for being here. You're so funny.
Thank you for having me. I love you guys, and I miss you guys. So let's keep this up.
Oh, we miss you too.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Dan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Danielle, Dan is not as immersed in the worlds of Vanderpump Rules and Atlanta as we are. He just does those two cities, so we thought we would take the reins from here as the two professionals.
The diehards that we are.
Exactly.
Now, Atlanta this week, we are back at a Zoom union, and I love every moment. I'm so grateful for the Zoom union, and I'm grateful for this city. Now, we got some more Marlo this time, and Marlo's titties. Every one of them, the minute they're introduced, we see more titty than I ever thought I could.
Seen in my life.
It's shocking. And I want to know how they're doing it. A tape doesn't work on me. I have a low sitting bosom. And so when I do a tape, I just don't feel like it does what it's doing for these ladies.
I think doing a tape yourself is very difficult. I feel like if you had a stylist do it, we could just get them up and standing up much
straight.
Much like your medication. Up. I will say, so it was part 2 of the reunion. We're going to cover these two briefly just because there wasn't such new revelations. I mean, I will say I started really giving it some thoughts about how they're filming this. I think, are they at like a sound station? Not sound station. What the hell am I talking about? Like a space station? I meant, do you think they're filming them on a location? Or
no, I think
the
they're
crew
in their houses.
Lit the whole thing. It looks too good.
I could see a crew coming in and lighting it and then lighting it and then leaving.
Yes. Totally. I think that's
because they look amazing.
They look amazing. And the backgrounds are too good. Like first I was like, wow, everybody did that themselves. And now I'm like, of course they didn't do that themselves.
I thought they did, but now I'm hearing it and it feels like set designed. I get that.
You know, watching Andy mute that fight between Kenya and Nene screaming at each other and them just continuing on thinking they were being heard was such a joy. And everyone for like 2 minutes was like, we can't hear you guys, acting it out. They're like pointing to their cameras like, and no one can hear you.
No, I think it was Candy and Nene.
Oh yeah, it's Candy and Nene. Oh my God, I totally forgot about Candy and Nene's
Candy was on fire. I love when she gets all lit up because she comes out I love it. Nene was like,
Candy's like, I'm everywhere. I am everywhere and I will continue to be everywhere. I was the only person you knew before you started this show and I will be there when you're gone.
I got chills just again.
She goes, you've been singing my songs, bitch. I was like, ooh, I had liftoff.
Me.
It wasn't just the multiple Cokes I'd had before.
And mine wasn't just my multiple Lexapro. It was true liftoff.
This was true feeling. True feeling.
I believe
it's hard to touch down on real feelings right now, but I touched down on joy there.
I could feel it in my belly, fire.
Oh, and the fact that I don't watch that show, The Masked Singer, because it's too embarrassing. I feel like my face flushes when I think about it or watch it. But to know that Candy won The Masked Singer, it's like, of course she did.
Of course,
and that is the truth about Candy. Again, we've said it, and we'll continue to say it. The only person with
real talent on these shows, yes,
on all of them across the board. But I love when she is not afraid of Nene.
And she's not at all, because she has true power. Candy has true power. True success and true power. So she doesn't need this show.
And Nene has struck out on her own to not as much success whatsoever. And it's like Candy doesn't actually need this show. And Nene's so jealous of Candy's spinoffs. You know what really didn't work as well that I think Nene thought would work was that before she walked away, which like for the last quarter of the Zoom union, she was simply gone, wherever that is.
Her like Nene's gone. When Portia goes, Nene, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday down.
Mayday, Mayday,
Nene down. Oh,
Nene was down. And all we saw was like Nene scribbled notes. That was just like frozen in time. But I feel like Nene was employing something for like 15 minutes before that, which is like, I'm just going to sit here and not say anything. But on the Zoom, it wasn't as powerful. You know, on the real reunion, we could have felt it more, but it was just like, Nene, come on. Like, I do get a bit frustrated, but I feel like it does have impact to leave. We all know that.
But she does it so much. It's stronger to stay. It has impact to leave, but it's stronger to stay.
And I'd like to ask the producers and anyone associated with Bravo that may be listening, you got to put restrictions on these women. You got to say to them, do you want your paycheck to be cash this week? You want it to sizzle in your account? You got to stay your ass in the seat. You need to continue filming. You need to open up your life. Like you
need to go to the parties. You can't just not go to a party. You can't just not go on a vacation.
I don't give a fuck about what else you're filming. Like your obligation is to us.
Exactly.
As a person who does not pay for Bravo barely, like your obligation is to us. It's actually not to Chicago. It's actually not to all these other things. Mm-hmm. And the benefits you get off this.
That's how you got Chicago and the other things.
Thank you.
So
dance with the one that brought you. Okay.
Yes, I agree.
You owe me the darkest tidbits of your life. You owe me rock bottom with alcohol.
You owe me the destruction of your marriage. Truly.
And the dissolution of your soul.
Yeah.
That's what you owe me.
And your children disowning you. You owe me.
I want to watch that and laugh. Okay. Oh my God. No. Oh my God. I think I've had too much Coke. I'm like, Coca-Cola.
I love when Portia oh wait, another great moment was when Portia goes, we have a question from Portia in Atlanta.
And then she goes, thank you for that question, Portia.
Yes. Oh my gosh, she's so fucking funny.
She's so good. Oh, she's just so good. And I'm like, I cried again, not to jerk us into another moment, but when Eva was talking about everything with her donor, I really feel like Andy has a very nice soft spot for Eva.
Yes.
I'm liking Eva more. I feel like she's walking away with my vote to come back.
I like Eva. I like when she's funny and smart when she gets angry, but sometimes she's just
she's funny and smart when she gets angry. Right. You only like her angry.
It's not a pretty picture of me, but like, otherwise she's just too chill. She's not, there's not, and I'm not saying everybody has to be angry, but like when she's chill, she's just not giving me that much. But she is really funny. Like when her and Marlo get into it, it always makes me laugh. But
I just had a dark thought, Danielle.
What?
What are we going to do when the shows run out?
In the recess
for New York, we're already on 8.
In the recesses of my mind, when I allow myself to
go there,
in the deep dark hours of the night when I'm weaning off Lexapro, it has crossed my mind, but I can't. I have to live day to day, Casey. Right. I gotta live day to day.
We have to live in now because I'm worried about filming and like, okay.
I know we can't.
Oh, we can't go there. Okay.
Now it's too hard.
It's too much. There's too many things. There's too many.
No, this is one of the only things keeping it bright.
I know. Danielle, should we finish with Vanderpump briefly since we've gone so over our time with Dan, as we were delighted to do?
Vanderpump
finale.
Okay.
So I didn't even take notes. I actually didn't take notes for the first time in the 3 years of this podcast. I didn't take one note on all 4 shows.
Wow. You just let them wash over you. Good for you.
I decided, I'm like, you know what? Like, this is a comedy podcast. I think I can just shoot from the hip this week.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't have the funny lines quoted, and I'm not going to do it again, but it felt nice to just watch as a fan.
Yeah. I don't.
Not like my research project like I'm normally doing. So I'm sorry I don't have specific lines.
No, it's okay. I am terrified of James's mom, and we got her. She is an uneven figure to me.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like I'm happy for her sobriety. I'm very happy. It seems like her sobriety and James's sobriety have lined up, and that's a really nice thing. But a mom that refuses, like, I think it was just last year when she was said to Lisa, like, you're like a mom to James, and she was like, you're James's mom, like that sort of it. Someone you can't count on like her, it gives me anxiety. So, but I'm glad to see them in a better place. Not to get dark, but
I thought it was a very nice scene between the two of them.
I don't trust it. I don't trust her.
Okay. See, I thought, and who knows? You're right. We can't trust it, but I was like, oh, it's nice to see her sober and
yes.
I did, but I think you're right. We don't know.
Yeah. I don't know why I find her just like, oh, she's back in his life, but what if she leaves again? Like I have issues around her. I will also say though that Raquel is sort of for me turning into the dopey hero of the show. Like she comes on the screen now and I'm happy to see her.
Yeah, I'm happy to see her.
So I don't know. That's kind of a fun thing.
I like Raquel.
Yeah, me too. I can't believe
Raquel and Lala are just standing next to each other as though Lala has not screamed the meanest things in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what do you make of Rand?
I don't understand why we treat Rand, we meaning us and the players, the Vanderpump players.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he comes in, everybody's like, Rand! Like he's a fucking celebrity or something. I don't understand why we sort of kowtow to him.
I think that Brittany and Jax have gotten it in their heads that like Rand's in the movie business.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like Rand's an elevated figure around here, and we all have to like show Rand some respect. And it's very embarrassing the way that they like what they give Rand.
Yeah, the deference they show to him as like this elder statesman. I'm just like, he's just like a sloppy guy that like got in a fight on Twitter with 50 Cent. Like, who is this man?
I know.
And produced some like terrible John Travolta movie that flopped because people don't like gangster movies anymore, I guess.
I'll tell you what, Danielle, I watched that movie in its entirety with my husband. We had a couple drinks and watched, and I had a great night. I was like, this is the wildest movie I've ever seen. And I appreciate Rand giving me that laugh.
I don't know if you're supposed to be laughing at it.
I felt there was a very bummer of a scene, like where it was no light to it, which was the scene between Ariana and Jax.
Yeah.
It was actually very dark. It felt to me like this woman is kind of suffering, and so is this guy. Like, and he said such terrible things about her. Why is he training so much anger on her? I think Jax is such a pit of darkness that like he sees it in her, and it's infuriating to him.
And I think he's also so jealous of Tom Sandoval that anything in Sandoval's life is a threat to him. So if they have any sort of relationship or communication or happiness, or the fact that they got like, he's just looking to shit on anything Sandoval's has because he's so jealous about the Tom thing. He's so jealous.
Right. And it's like, buddy, you don't need to be jealous. It's just because your name isn't Tom. That's why your name isn't up there. It's literally a cute name. If your name had been Tom, you'd be up there. So change your name to Tom.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
You already changed it to Jax. Just change it to Tom.
Because it does feel like Ariana and Tom Sandoval, given whatever, it does feel like they have a nice relationship by and large, or like, like respect, and they have fun together. And I think that just like burns Jax up inside.
Yeah.
That relationship is done. Did you see the like preview for the Zoom Union, which is coming second? I don't know why I memorized the date. It's so upsetting. Tune in June 2nd. But it looks dark.
Really?
Yes. Like Sandoval and Jax are completely done. They go after each other. It's bad.
Well, Jax is ill. And that moment when he said to Lisa, like, that's why my show works. And she fucking turned on him. She's like, it's not your show. Oof.
And it was a tough moment to bear witness to when Brett, and I don't care about these people, but it was a bit tough when Dana has been so like, we're the fucking cool kids and we back, and I'm sorry we're so fucking attractive. And he was like, oh, I don't have like, we're not like together. I don't think we have feelings for each other, or whatever he said. And she was like, that was hard to hear. I was like, it was hard to watch.
It was tough. And for her to say to him, like, I didn't think that either. Like, I was like,
I was like, that's me. That's been me.
Oh, me too. Believe me. I once literally, a guy was breaking up with me, and I truly thought he was asking me to get more serious. It took me forever to realize, this is a breakup. I was like, now I guess I'm going to meet his parents. Like to be in such denial was, I've been there and seen it and
one time a guy was like breaking up with me, and I was so upset, and I go, I think you should leave. And then he goes, we're in my place. Your head's not on straight when those things are happening.
Well, this guy, when he finally broke up with me, he's like, but I do think we should still have sex tonight. And I was like, I do too.
Oh my God, I love that he verbalized that, and that you were like, yes.
And I was like, that's a great idea. I was thinking it myself.
Ask for consent, and he did, and he got consent,
and he got consent.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my God, Danielle.
Look, 20s are a hard time. Who amongst? I got joy out of seeing that girl. What's her fucking name again?
Charlie?
Danica.
Okay.
Just go after the Vegas Sheena. And then that wasn't, I didn't even know what was happening, but it was a joy to watch. She's a true train
That
wreck.
girl is a mess. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we're ready to bring Vegas into our world.
No,
here.
I'm not ready.
I think there's a reason we don't have Vegas housewives yet. I think there's a reason. I don't think we're ready.
No, I don't need, there's something too dark about that city, too empty, too soulless about people, about the housewives
Speaking
of that city.
The houses that they all own. It did make me laugh when Stassi was like, I don't need another like cookie cutter modern, and then they put all three of their houses up. They do all look exactly alike.
I've seen all of those. And know that those three, there are 3,000 more in Valley Village and
I do
Sherman
think
Oaks.
The houses are very cute.
Oh, and I couldn't afford. They're so overpriced and shittily made, and they're crazy expensive too. Yeah. They're all on tiny little lots. There's these huge houses on like minuscule lots, and they're millions of dollars. You cannot afford one, and they're not worth it.
I thought the house that Stassi was looking at was really cute.
I thought that was gorgeous. I know they didn't go for it, but I was like, She's like, it's too masculine for me. I was like, this house is gorgeous. I know.
I was like, wow, I love this place.
I love that place. But you know, I'm happy the season's over. It was a slog. Vanderpump was a slog.
There was 27 million episodes.
I felt like it. How long have we been watching?
And I know we're going to want them back when they're gone, but right now I'm okay to see them go, except for June 2nd when I will watch 3 more weeks of their reunion.
I sure will. I'll watch every piece of footage.
2,700 cast members. Oh my gosh, really quick. I read this thing that Jax is really pissed. He was saying on Twitter, like, you know what I'm really pissed about this season? He's like, we filmed so many great moments of us just laughing and having fun and really getting along, and they never aired those. Like, Jack, way to misjudge what we're here for and what we have watched you do, which is self-destruct and abuse verbally other people. Yes,
we're not here for that show, Jax. But
he's like, that's not
thank
who
you
we
for your
are
service
anymore. And I'm like, well, if that's not who you are anymore, who I am is not someone that watches the show.
No.
I'm sorry, guys, if my Coke was just talking too much tonight. I've never felt so energized, and it's time for bed.
And I'm not sorry that my Lexapro really lifted, I think, myself on this podcast.
Lexapro lift us up
where we belong, where the eagles fly from Studio City High.
I love it. Oh, man. Isn't it,
we
so good, Danielle?
Song. We didn't sing your song, Casey.
I have a song of Tinsley that I'd like to get out there in the coming weeks. I just keep forgetting to really brush up on it.
I know. Okay. Well, next week. Monday. Oh, no, there's no show next week. We don't have an episode next week.
Okay. Well, I guess
the week after, we will be back and you will have to sing your
I feel like the people are calling for it.
I believe that they love our musicals. And guess what? We've never cared if people wanted us to sing. That has never been our MO. In fact, we have.
In some ways, because we normally just sing on the live shows, it's a bit easier to confront an audience because like people see your face. They have to kind of laugh. To just sing into the void is something that oddly scares me more, and yet I would like a challenge.
I think you're up for it.
Other people are learning Italian. I will be singing as Tinsley to a Madonna song.
Oh my gosh.
Great. Danielle, great night. Thank you to Dan Bucatinsky. Thank you to Jordan. Thank you to Dana and everyone at Earwolf. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.
And as usual, I know you want to thank one more person, and that's
myself.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night from the lower level.
Good night from the lower level.